welcome to the Weekend Adventure Canada. Today we're out on beautiful Lawrenson's Lake and we're going to try something a little bit different.
We are. We're going to take part in one of the biggest crazes on the water right now, which is stand-up paddleboarding, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day, so let's go talk to Steve and he's going to show us, I guess, how to get started.
Yeah.
Perfect.
The Weekend Adventure Canada is brought to you by the Kenora Hospitality Alliance.
So we're here with Steve Strachan, who's the owner of the Hardwear Company in Kenora, which has been a long-time supporter of this show, and that's great. But he is going to tell us a little bit about paddleboarding and how you got into it and why it's such a big craze right now.
Well, we used to be into windsurfing in the shop years ago. That kind of faded away, and we were looking for other ways to get on the water. Kayaking became very popular. We introduced that into the Kenora area, and paddleboarding about 6 years ago. We're trying that out, enjoyed it, thought this would be great for our lakes, and it has exploded, of course, across the world. It's one of the fastest growing sports out there, and we have a great area for it. It's perfect for anywhere with lakes, and we've got lots of lakes here.
Exactly.
So what kind of athlete do you have to be to get into this sport, or do you have to be one at all?
You have to train for about 20 years before you can get on it. No, anybody can do this if you have a little bit of balance, comfortable around water. It's not a hard sport to learn at all, and I recommend everybody give it a try.
Awesome. So I guess there's different types of boards for different style of paddlers.
Yeah, there are. There's everything from very recreational boards, some very stable, wider, shorter boards, easy to maneuver, easy to learn on, to long, narrow race boards, which can be like standing on a log, but you know, you gotta suit the board, the equipment to your style of paddling and what you're capable of.
And of course, anyone with questions can wander on down to the Hardware Company.
Absolutely,
and
be
ask
happy to help
questions.
anybody out.
Perfect.
Perfect. Well, Steve's going to show us the ropes and give us a quick paddleboarding 101 before we hit the water.
Great.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we're back at the shop here. Let's talk a little bit about the differences in the boards and take a look at them. It's one of my favorite brands of all time, paddleboarding for 6 years now. But Blue Planet Surf puts out a great lineup of boards. Everything from this surf style board, good all-round board. Works for everybody, very stable, a lot of flotation on it, fun, easy to turn, and great construction. It's an epoxy layered board, of course, with beautiful bamboo inlay top and bottom sheet. Gives it some really nice aesthetics. It also adds to the strength and stiffness of the board without adding much weight at all. Bit of a carbon deck under where you're standing, again, just to keep it stiff and prevent any heel dings. Great handles on them. On a windy day, you'll like this. Instead of just the regular slot handle, it's got a full grab handle, and if you're walking around on a windy day, you're hanging onto the board, it's not a problem. You're not going to lose it and get it dinged up. A few features that are on the boards this year are it's ready to put some bungee cord on there, the touring strap, and you can throw your life jacket on there or a cooler, whatever you want for the day. It's got a GoPro mount up front here. You just put a GoPro camera mounted on there and film away. I've added on this board also a nice little suction cup water bottle holder. You get thirsty out there. Most of these all-round boards or surf style boards will come with a 3-fin construction or configuration. Thruster fins on the side. They're more actually for surfing down a wave. They give a little bit of extra stability for flat water, but they're not that necessary. So you can leave them on if you'd like. You don't have to have those on. And then your main tracking fin. The main fin's kind of important. Obviously, without this, the board is not going to track very well at all. It's going to be all over the place. This is what gives you that forward direction in more of a straight line. You do have a fin box here, a standard style fin box, and you can adjust where the fin is. More towards the front, the board will turn easier, a little bit more toward the back, and it'll track straighter. Yeah, this surf style type of board is going to appeal to a wide range of persons, from beginners to intermediate paddlers that are looking for that easier board to get on. If you're going some longer distances, we'll look at some boards better for that shortly. Before we get going, there is some things that we need to talk about, and that's one is safety. It's water safety around the lake. It doesn't matter if you're a great swimmer. You do need to have life jackets with you on board, and preferably wearing them when you're paddleboarding. Legally in Canada, that is the law, and it just makes sense. You definitely have a good chance of falling off and in the water, and the board shoots away. You've got to be able to float and go around, and you don't want to bang your head on something, and so it's a good idea.
Okay, so we have our gear laid out in front of us. Steve's going to tell us a little bit about what kind of paddles we're using and what kind of boards we're using, because we know there's different kinds of boards for racing or cruising and whatnot, and amateurs like us. That's right.
First off, we'll get the paddle to the right height. Use big, long stand-up paddles, like a canoe paddle, but way taller. And the idea is to have it out to the top of your wrist here. Some also will measure it this way to where the start of the blade is about your eye level.
Okay.
And you can adjust it accordingly. That one just Wendy, if you want to put your arm up.
Nice and tall, Wendy.
There we go. That's set for you. Fancy paddle.
Sweet. I'm fancy.
Okay, so this is one of those bent shaft paddles.
I like it.
And inevitably, everybody grabs them, whether it's a canoe paddle or kayak, and they use it this way like it's a scoop, but that's not right.
Right.
Switch it. And this way the blade stays straight in the water, perpendicular to the water, pushing water away rather than lifting water. You don't want to lift water up, you want to push it away and you go forward.
Okay, perfect. Oh, it's light. See your board mount.
All right.
I give that a 9.9.
That'll do.
You just lost a hair because you didn't smile the whole time.
Probably.
Or blow kisses or anything. Nothing fancy.
All right, August, you're up.
I mean, really, how hard can this be, right? Oh. I'm not gonna fall. Oh yeah. And I smiled the whole time, Wendy. Gotcha.
So you're out here and you're standing up. Now you want to move forward. Basic forward paddle stroke. It's not just short little ones in front of you here that you don't really get anywhere. You want to be bending your knees, reaching forward, your hand up, and pull that blade to you parallel with the water. Not out here. That'll turn you more. You want to reach forward and pull. And as you pull, you stand up and make it very positive. There you go.
All right, so we've learned some of the basics on how to get going and how to get started. I think we're gonna have a little bit of fun with this. Who wants to race?
Let's do it.
All right. We've learned some of the basics on how to get started paddleboarding. We're gonna start to have a little bit of fun with this now, and we're gonna have a race to that dock and back. Who's ready for it?
Ready?
I'm ready if I
Dan, you call it.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Set, go!
I find it hard to paddle. It's too time consuming to switch hands. All right, so
slow and steady wins the race. I've never won a race in my life.
Good job, sister. Here, we'll do the real high five.
All right.
Reach for it. Nice. Sweet. Steve won. I'm not gonna say it's because he's got a fancy racing board, but I think that has something to do with it.
All right. You girls seem to have some balance. I think it's time to try some of the faster boards.
So, what are the main differences between the faster boards and these ones, which I'm assuming we're gonna call the slow boards?
Well, like anything on water, kayaks included, longer and narrower will glide faster in the water. It'll track a little straighter. Not as easy to turn, but they will go faster over a long distance.
Okay.
So once you get them going, they'll stay a little less effort to keep going at a cruising speed.
Okay.
A little less friction on the water.
Right.
But
well, you can tell the way it sounds like mine laps and yours doesn't, right?
Yeah. This one also has a displacement hull, so it's got a bit of a deep V.
Okay.
For those that want to go a little farther, faster, this is the board for them. Carbon fiber construction, 14 feet long, very narrow, 26-inch. This board flies. You can put some mileage on, go in races if you want with others. They're going to be on 14-foot boards as well. This is the board, very, very lightweight, superior construction. This is a fun board to battle, but it's a little tippy. So one of the main differences you'll see on this board is it is certainly a lot longer, but it's also very narrow, and it's a displacement hull down to the tip, so it acts a little bit more like a boat or a kayak versus a surfboard, punching through the chop and the waves and allowing for a little more efficient touring. You can see the carbon fiber construction makes it very, very strong, very, very light. For the paddler that wants to go maybe a little further in their trips, get there a little quicker, a little more efficiently, maybe take a look at the 14-foot touring board or the 12-foot 6 touring boards with displacement hulls.
So same strategy to get on these boards and
yeah, that doesn't change.
Same
the
paddling.
Paddle strokes are the same.
Okay.
The balance becomes a little more important.
okay.
But the board with every paddle stroke will go faster, go further. So the main thing is get used to standing on this one, and more importantly, standing in the right position on the board.
Okay.
So both feet evenly weighted around the handle area.
Okay.
You may go forward or back a little bit, just depending on how it balances and whether you're going into the wind or against or with the wind.
Yeah.
And yeah, the biggie, we'll see if anybody goes for a swim.
All right. Okay. So get myself away. And then don't bail. That was good.
Looks good.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot tippier.
All right, so I'm all set to hop on this board. This is a little different in design than the previous two that we've seen. What's the style here?
Again, this is a race board from Starboard, real good flat water board. 12-foot 6 in length, the other one was 14, but it's only 26.5 inches wide, so it's a narrow board.
It is very
See how
narrow.
you do.
And on the tippy scale, how would you rate it?
9 out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Not everybody has the luxury of having space to keep these boards at home, or they don't have roof racks for the car, or you want to take the board with you in a boat, or you live in an apartment, you want to have a paddle board, but you just don't have the space for a rigid board. Maybe look at an inflatable. They paddle amazingly well. They're very, very rigid once they're pumped up. and they fold down into a backpack and take them with you. Also a wonderful board for taking kids. They're very sturdy, very durable. They hold a lot of weight, tons of fun. The inflatable boards come as a package with a adjustable breakdown paddle, again for saving space. They come with the pump, of course, and it takes about 5 minutes to pump these up. Big air volume pump. They go to about 18 pounds of pressure, makes them very rigid. Anybody can stand on these and paddle them. This particular board is from Jimmy Sticks. It's the Mud Skipper. Comes with the touring straps on here. You've got a leash. You can hook it up to a boat, tie it to the side of the boat or up onto the rails, take it with you. The board itself, suitable for recreational paddlers. Once again, this board is very lightweight. It's very easy to carry, very easy to pack up, roll into the backpack. Take it on a trip with you down south. Rather than renting a board, you could bring your own. If you are limited in space, just throw it in your car, throw it in your boat, take it with you. The kids will love it. You'll love it. Get on out and paddle. So you guys are quick studies. You did great.
Good.
I don't know, you tried out both styles of boards. What did you guys think?
Well, there's definitely a difference. The wider one, for sure, you can tell it's a little bit more stable. You're not going to fall off. Loaded, you know, kids, dogs, coolers, whatever you want on it. This one definitely felt a little tippier, but you could also notice the speed on it.
Faster,
Yeah.
and it feels like you have a little bit more control over it for some reason.
Yeah, they're really quick,
Like it's-
quick responding boards.
Absolutely. We'll talk about it in the shop, the differences between the boards and constructions. But if you're purchasing a board or renting a board, you suit the board to your style of paddling.
Yep.
You're going to be fooling around the dock and or with the kids. You might want a soft top board to. I'm all over the place.
It's okay.
That's fine. Soft top board to be comfortable on. If you're going to start traveling, doing some different distances, as if you're going to go for a jog. If you're out for a walk, you take the recreational board. If you want to go for a run, then you grab the
Faster board.
Yeah,
boards.
that makes sense. Well, that was very, very cool. It's a great way to enjoy the water, get out there on the lake.
Nice
have
and
a
close
swim.
to the water too, and it's good exercise, you know. It's
That's
nice to actually just be on the water, that close to the water all the time.
That's what people enjoy the most about it. You do have a different perspective, even from a kayak to a paddleboard.
Yeah.
You're standing up, you're looking down. If
Yeah.
the water's clear, it's amazing. You're looking at. I've watched schools of fish swim by
Right.
on Hillock Lake. That was amazing.
That would be pretty neat.
Yeah.
And no motor, no noise, just peace and quiet.
It is.
That's
It's
right.
very peaceful.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was a really, really fun time. I'm glad I'm introduced to it. This is pretty new to me. So I'm looking forward to getting into it a lot more than I always have, or ever have.
One piece of safety equipment we include with all our boards is the surf leash. Really important if it's a bit windy out there. If you fall off the board's going to blow downwind quite easily and you're hanging on to a paddle. It's hard to get your board back. So we have this ankle leash. It's just nice soft neoprene cuff that goes around your ankle and it tethers you to the board. The other item that is very necessary, of course, is your life vest. You must have a PFD, whether it's a waist belt style that inflates with a CO2 cartridge or a good paddling vest, whatever feels most comfortable for you. But they must be a Canadian Coast Guard approved life vest. One thing that's great on some paddles, if there's a number of people using the board, they're all different heights, you can get an adjustable paddle that will adjust to everybody. Want to save a little bit of weight and have a paddle that's just yours, maybe go to a carbon fiber, very lightweight paddle. Now these ones you do cut down to your size, and they're one size only. So once again, if you're curious about getting into the sport, just want to see what it's all about, or you're not sure about purchasing one yet, come and rent a board, get some tips and helpful hints from us, take a lesson. We'll get you into the sport. Come down, talk to us at the Hardwear Company. We've got everything you need for paddleboarding.
So we're all done. We had a great time on the water.
We did.
I think we're ready for a drink.
We are ready to relax and have a drink. And thanks for joining us. Join us next weekend for another adventure.
That's right. Thanks again to Steve from the Hardwear Company for all your equipment, your guidance, your advice. And yeah, make sure to check out Facebook. See what we're up to next week.
See you next weekend.
Bye, everyone.
She's trying to tip me. Stop!
Sorry.
We are going to play bumper boats later.
I think so.
Now, I find these slightly more difficult to steer than kayaks. Is that just me, or?
It's just you.
What?
We're here on beautiful Lawrence's Lake, and we're gonna do some, no.
We're not going to do any of that.
None of it.
We're not here, we're not here.
Okay, take two.
Touring boards with a displacement hull, it'll get you there a little quick. Keep wanting to use quicker, quicker, quicker. Everything matters, the speed that matters.